So guys, in the last session, we have started the flow control statements, and as part of the flow control statements, I covered the first category of statements, that is selection statements. We completed the selection statements, that is if, if else, and switch case. Now let's go with the next category, that is iterative statements. Okay. So the next category we'll go with now. Type in the chat box, guys, the name of the category that I'm going to cover now. That is iterative statements. Iterative. Just type iterative in the chat box. Okay, great. So iterative statements help us in executing the same block of code multiple times. Okay. Iterative statements will help us in executing the same block of code multiple times. If you want to run the same set of code multiple times, then we have to use what? Iterative statements. I'll show you one screenshot and all. Iterative statements executes the same set of code until the loop condition is satisfied. Until the loop condition is true, the same block of code or same set of code will be executed number of times. I'll with this screenshot, you'll understand more. Just observe that. Let the screenshot load here. So just see here, guys, what's happening. Execution is going on and the loop condition has come. Okay, iterative loop condition has come. The condition is true. This particular block of code inside this loop is getting executed. Again, it will check the condition. If the condition is again true, the same block of code will be executed for second time. If the condition is again true, the same block of code will be executed for third time. Again true, fourth time. Again true, fifth time. Again true, sixth time. Like that, keep on going until the condition is true. Finally, the condition, if it becomes false, it will come out of this. Okay, the loop will be executed. The code inside this particular loop will be executed the number of times the condition is true. Well, once the condition becomes false, will come out of this loop. Okay. Is it clear, guys? The diagram is clear for you. Type C in the chat box if it is clear. Great. So now let's go ahead and understand the different types of this kind of iterative statements where the same block of code will be executed multiple times until the condition is satisfied. When the condition becomes false, then only the execution of that particular block of code will be stopped. Otherwise, it will be executed multiple times. Okay. What are the different type of iterative statements we have? While loop, do while loop, for loop, and for each loop. Okay. Let's write down them. What are the different iterative statements we have? While loop, do while loop, for loop, for each loop. Okay, these are the four varieties: while, do while, for each. Okay, so now let's go with the first one, which is while loop. Okay, the first one is what? While loop. So let me launch Eclipse IDE for that. So meanwhile, you guys type in the chat box what are the different loops we have. Yes, while loop, do while loop, for loop, and for each loop. Everyone type. Everyone type in the chat box the different type of loops we have. Yes. While, do while, for each. Keep typing, guys. I'm checking your chat box. I want everyone to participate. Okay, Balu, correct. Shivakumar, you are right. PN, you are right. AB, you are right. What about others? Others keep typing. Yes. Karishma, you are right. Manjit, right. Right. Yeah. While, do while, for each. Yeah. Yes. Maha and Vijay also correct. Okay. Vijay, you are right, and everyone. Pushkar, you are right. And okay. Fine, great. Good participation. Let's go ahead. While, do while, for loop, and for each loop. This these loops I'm going to cover one by one for you. Okay. So first we'll start with the while loop. While loop executes the same block of code, but every loop does the same thing, guys. Even while loop also will do the same thing, right? While loop will run the same block of code multiple times until the Boolean condition turns false. Until the condition becomes false, that means until the condition is true, it will keep on running the same block of code multiple times. The moment the condition becomes false, the Boolean condition in this while condition will become false. Okay, then we'll come out of the loop. Okay, then we'll come out of the loop and will no more execute the same block of code. Okay, while loop tests the condition before executing the code in loop body. While loop tests the condition before executing the code in the loop body. Based on the condition only, the code inside the while loop will be executed. If the condition is continuously true, means the same block of code will be executed multiple times. The same diagram, guys, whatever I showed you for explaining loops or iterative statements. You can either call it as loops or you can call it as iterative statements. Anything is fine. You see, for while loop, it will be like this. Execution will keep on going and there will be a situation where while condition will come. Okay, if this condition is true, means what will happen? This particular block of code will be executed. Again, it will check the condition for second time. Again, if the condition, this Boolean condition like A greater than B kind of condition may be there. If that condition is again true, means the same block of code will be executed for second time. Again, the condition will be checked. If the condition is again true, the same block of code will be executed third time, fourth time, fifth time, until the condition becomes false, where it will come out of the loop. Okay, fine. So syntax, let's see the syntax of the while loop, guys. Let's see the syntax of the while loop. Just observe the syntax of the while loop. Hope you are able to see. While condition, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 are there. I cannot maximize this one. Just see. So there is a while, like if condition was there, like while condition is there. Okay. If this condition is true, means these statements will be statements inside this while block will be executed. Again, it will check the condition. If the condition is again true, the same statements will be executed for second time. Again, at the end of this while loop, again it will go and check the condition for third time. If the condition is again true, the same statements will be executed. Again, it will check the condition. If this time the condition is false, it will come out of the while loop. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate the while loop in different ways, guys. Okay. So this is flow control demo only, right? Here I'll write the code. Just see, guys. Or if you flow control, we'll do one thing. I'll just create a new class, loops demo or something. I'll write. This flow control only, iterative statements for separate class I'll create. What's the matter? Uh, Iterative or iterative statements demo with main method. I'm creating. Save this. Okay. Now here in the iterative statements, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable int ai is equal to 1. Okay. Int I is equal to 1. I've created a variable and assigned or initialize that particular variable I with a value like 1. While I is less than or equal to 10, okay, while I is less than or equal to 10, starting of the while loop, the ending of the while loop, here I'll write down system.out.println, system.out.println, I'm going to print the value of I. Now tell me guys, what will be the output? What will be the output, guys? Type in the chat box your answer. 1 to 10 will be printed, Nagavin is saying. Okay, what about others? AB also saying 1 to 10, right? Okay, and then Maha saying 1 to 10, Vijay 1 to 10. Everyone keep typing your answer in the chat box, is very important, okay? Okay, Vijay Robert 1 to 10. Yeah, Jilani Sheikh 1 to 10, Pushkar 1 to 10 will print. Okay, so most of the people, no, we are not increasing the value. So all ones, okay? Nagavin is saying all ones will be printed. So PN is saying one will be printed 10 times. Okay. So different answers I got. Different answers I got, right? But what is the exact answer for this is, you are right, 1 to 10 won't be printed. Few people said that 1 to 10 won't be printed. Only 1 will be printed. But how many times it will be printed? You guys were saying 10 times 1 will be printed. 1, 1, 1, like that 10 times it will be printed, you said. It's not correct. Okay. Your answer is partially correct still. Why? Because here just see, I is equal to 1. Okay. Okay. So different answers I am getting, but let's see. Let me reveal the answer, guys. Okay. I is equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to 10. True. Condition is true, right? We'll go inside the while block. The condition is actually true. And once we go inside the while loop or while block, here what will be printed? The current value of I is what? 1 will be printed. Fine. End of the while loop. Again, when it comes to this condition, the value of I is still 1 only, right? Again, this condition is true. Again, we'll go inside the while loop for second time. Again, the value of I is 1. Second time it got printed. Again, the condition is true. Third time I value 1 got printed. Again condition is true. I 1 less than or equal to 10. Fourth time I got printed. Fifth time condition is true. Fifth time 1 got printed. Sixth time condition is true. Sixth time I got printed. Seventh time condition is true. Seventh time 1 got printed. Eighth time condition is true. Eighth time 1 got printed. Ninth time condition is true. Ninth time 1 got printed. 10th time condition is true. 10th time 1 got printed. 11th time condition is true. 11th time 1 got printed. 12th time condition is true. 12th time 1 got printed. Is there any end for this? Is there any end for this, guys? So infinite. This loop will run infinite times. You are right. Few people said that 1 will be printed. But how many times? Not 10 times. It is infinite. There is no end to that. If I run this code, you see the program will not stop. You keep printing 1 like anything. In the output, you just see, you say I started, 1 is getting, you see the program is running. You see the scroll bar is just jumping here and there. That means it's keep printing 1. The program is continuously running. There is no end for the program. Right? There's no end for this program, guys. Program is continuously running and printing once like anything. I have to forcibly stop the program. Here there is a red button. I have to click on that red button, then only the program is able to stop. So what is the answer now? Tell me guys, what is the answer? Infinite times. Infinite times this loop will be iterating. Okay. Then how to overcome this problem? How to overcome this problem? So at some point of time, the condition has to become false. In this case, the condition was always true, no matter what. The condition has to become false. At some period of time, the condition has to become false. How the condition will become false? Here, I'll try to increment the value of I by 1. Let's see what will happen. You remember I plus plus, right? I plus plus. Increment operator. This is post increment operator anyhow. Remember in operators I covered, in arithmetic operators I covered increment operator. Okay, that's the one I am covering again. So now let's see, after printing the value of I, I'm going to increment the I by 1. by I plus plus. The value of I will get incremented by 1. So now let's see how the logic will work. Okay. I is equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. Will go in condition is true. So we'll go inside the while loop and 1 will be printed. Here 1 will be printed. Okay. After 1 got printed, the value of I 1 got printed. The value of I will be incremented by 1. That means I will become 2 here. Now by the condition will be checked. I is 2. 2 less than or equal to 10 is true. Again, we'll go inside the while loop and this time 2 will be printed. Then I becomes 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. True again. So we'll go inside the while loop and this time 3 will be printed. I plus plus, I will become 4. 4 less than or equal to 10. Again true. 4, I value of I is 4, so 4 will be printed. I plus plus, I will become 5. 5 less than or equal to 10. Again true. This time I value of I is 5, so 5 will be printed. Then I plus plus, I will become 6. 6 less than or equal to 10. True. Go inside. 6 will be printed. 7. I become 7. 7 less than or equal to 10. True. The value of I. 7 will be printed. I plus plus. I will become 8. 8 less than or equal to 10. True. The value of I. That is 8 will be printed. I plus plus. I will become 9. 9 less than or equal to 10. Condition becomes true. The value of I. 9 will be printed. I becomes 10. 10 less than or equal to. It is equal. Equal condition is coming up. 10 equal to 10. True. Value of I, that is 10 will be printed. This time I becomes 11. 11 is neither less than 10 nor equal to 10. So condition has become false. Now we'll come out of the while loop and here I'll just write a print statement saying system.out.println end of this program. End of this program will be printed. So now it is clear guys how this program will print 1 to 10. Is it clear for you? You'll get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, end of this program. Okay, this is a while loop. Just type C in the chat box if everyone is clear with this program. Type C in the chat box. Okay, great. Okay. So now I'll make it I is equal to 11. What will happen? What will be printed, guys? In this case, what will be printed? If initially itself I is 11, what will be the output? Anyone can guess what is the output when initially I is equal to 11? What will be the output? Type your answer in the chat box. I int I is equal to 11. Maha is saying directly end of the program, end of this program will be printed. What about others? Balu also same, Nagavani also same, Pushkar also same. Yes, the same thing will happen, guys. Okay. I is equal to 11. Initially, 11 is neither less than 10 or equal to 10. So first itself, the condition has become false. So the loop will not be executed any number of times. 0 times the while loop will be executed. If the condition is false for the first time itself, the loop will not run. The loop will not run. Even one time also loop will not run. This will be skipped. Ultimately, this part will be skipped and end of this program will be printed. Okay, you are right, guys. Only end of this program. The condition is by default false means the loop will be running 0 times. Okay, the loop will run how many times? 0 times. If the condition is first itself, it is false means loop will run 0 times. Demonstrate the while loop when the condition is always true. I told you infinite times. Okay, I gave you. Demonstrate the while loop when the condition is false. Loop won't be executed at least once, as a condition is by default false means loop will not be running even one time also. If the condition is always true means loop will be running infinite times. If the condition is by default false means loop will not run even one time also. That is 0 times loop will run. But there was situation where the loop will be initially true and later after the condition will be initially true and later after the condition becomes false for a period of time. That is after printing 1 to 10, the condition became false in one example, right? Loop will be executed until the condition turns false. Okay. So if I give 1 here, initially the condition will be true until 1 to 10 will be printed. After that, the moment I becomes 11, The condition will become false and loop will stop executing. Okay. So everyone clear about the while loop now? Everyone clear about the while loop? Great. This is the while loop, guys. I'll just copy the same code of the while loop and paste it here. Now I'm going to explain the next loop. What is the next loop I have to explain? After while loop, what is the next one? Type in the chat box, guys. What is the next loop? Yes, do while I have to explain. Do while loop. Okay, after while loop, I have to explain do while loop. Right, I have to explain do while loop. While loop is completed, so now do while loop. Right. So I'll convert this while loop to do while loop. Just observe what I'm doing, guys. Okay. In do while loop, this while condition is not at the beginning of the loop. Rather, this while condition will be at the end of the loop, like this. Put a semicolon here. Okay. In do while loop, what is the difference between while loop and do while loop? In while loop, the condition will be at the beginning of the loop. Whereas in do while loop, the condition will be at the end of the loop. And there will be a keyword known as do here. The beginning of the loop, there will be a keyword known as do. This is what is do while loop. That's it, guys. This is do while loop. That's it. In while loop, the condition in the beginning. In the do while loop, the condition is at the end. And here do keyword will come in the beginning. Okay. So this is what nothing but do while loop, guys. Simple. Okay. So let's see how it works. So I'll get the same output, guys. Again, 1 to 10 will be printed. Again, 1 to 10 only will be printed. There is no difference in this. Okay. For now, there is no difference in this do while loop also. I is equal to 1. There is no condition being checked. Without checking the condition itself, we are entering inside and here 1 will be printed. I plus plus 1 will become 2. Here 2 less than or equal to 10 is 2. Again, will go inside the loop. 2 will be printed. 3, condition true. 3 will be printed. 4, condition true. 4 will be printed. 5, condition is true, 5 will be printed. 6, condition is true, 6 will be printed. 7, condition is true, 7 will be printed. 8, condition is true, 8 will be printed. 9, condition is true, 9 will be printed. 10, 10 equal to 10, condition is true, 10 will be printed. 11, condition is false, will come out of the do while loop. End of this program will be printed. So 1 to 10 will be printed as usual. Whatever the while loop has done, do while loop is also doing the same thing here. You see 1 to 10, end of this program is getting printed. But what exactly is the difference here? I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you guys. If I make it 11, what will be the output? Tell me guys. If I make it 11, int I is equal to 11, the condition is first time only false. Will the loop will be run any number of times? Will the loop run any number of times? How many times it will run? AB is saying one time. What about others? First itself, the condition is false. But you are saying that loop will run one time. Yes, that's right. Whatever the answer you said is right, guys. Even though I is 11 here, even though first time only condition is false also, but here, is there any entry check for the loop to start? No. Even though I is 11, doesn't matter. There's no condition being checked at the beginning of the loop. And value of I will be printed, that is 11 got printed. Now I becomes 12, then condition is false will come. At least 11 got printed. Yes, you are right, AB. It will run the code before checking the condition itself. Hence, the loop will be executed at least how many times? Minimum how many times the loop will be executed even after the condition is false for the first time? Minimum one time. Yes, minimum once the loop will be executed. That's what is the difference between while loop and do while loop. In while loop, if the condition is false for the first time, the loop will be executed 0 times. But coming to the do while loop, even though the condition is false for the first time, the loop will run at least one time. But otherwise, same case. If the condition is true for the first time, doesn't matter. The number of times will be same. But if the condition is false for the first time, do while loop will run at least one time, but while loop will run 0 times. Okay, that's the difference. Nothing more than that. This is what is do while loop is. Okay, do while loop will run at least one time. Okay, at least one time. The output is 1 and end of the 11 and end of the program. Okay, that's the output. It's like, if you board a train in India, without ticket also, there is a possibility that you can board. Okay, but there is a risk that at the end of the journey, while you are exiting the station, the TC may the TC may find you, and you have to pay the hectic fine. Okay, but if you want to board a flight in India or anywhere, even in India and all, lot of checking process will be there, and you cannot board a flight without a ticket. Here the condition is before checked in the flight, but in a train, you are not checked in the beginning whether you have a ticket or not. At the end, they may check. Okay, like that. That's the difference between while loop and do while loop. So this is an example of the do while loop. So everyone clear with the do while loop and difference between while and do while? Everyone is clear? Types in the chat box if you guys are clear with the difference between while and do while loop. Okay. Mahesh is asking me a question. How can we identify which one can use? I didn't get the question, Mahesh. Come again. You mean which one you have to use in real time? Which one we generally use in real time? Is that your question?
Yes. Yeah. How can we identify which do while or while do? Which one we can use in?
Most of the case in real time we use while loop only, not do while loop. Okay. But very rarely, some people may come across something where they want to run the loop at least one time, no matter whether the condition is the true or false. In that case only, they will go with the do while loop. That condition I have never seen anywhere. Okay. In my complete career, I have never used do while loop in my real time. Okay. So while loop only will be used. Fine. Very rare case, there may be situation where no matter what, you have to run the loop one time. If the condition is true or false, doesn't matter. At least one time if you want to run this. In that situations in your real-time programming, you may have to use do while loop. But for me, the condition has not come. Okay. I was always using, while loop only. Okay. Wherever possible, only while loop. Do while loop is just for knowledge purpose, guys. Okay. Most of the cases. I never come across situation where do while loop was required for me. But knowledge wise, we have to learn the do while loop. Okay. Do while loop works similar to the while loop, but the block of code will be executed at least once, even after the condition is false. Okay. Unlike while loop, do while loop tests the condition after executing the code in the loop body. Like this diagram, you can see the diagram here. The same thing, whatever I covered, you will easily understand the diagram now. You see, first block of code will be executed, then while condition. One time already, without any condition, we have run the block of code in the while loop, while do while loop. While the condition is now checked, true means second time the loop will run. True means third time the loop will run. Okay, if the until the condition becomes false. Okay, until the condition becomes false. Syntax, already told you what is the syntax and all. Do, beginning of the loop, ending of the loop, while condition statements. Okay, this is the syntax. I already demonstrated. Now the next loop is what? Everyone type in the chat box. What is the next loop that I have to cover? What is the next loop? Yes, for loop. Let's go with the for loop case. Okay, let's go with the for loop. So again, I'll take the code of this while loop and convert this while loop into the for loop. Okay, then you'll understand in a better way. So the same while loop code I have taken. I'm going to convert this while loop code into the for loop. Here, how many lines I have to write? One line. This is second line, space is there. We'll count the spaces also for now. Two line, third line, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, seventh line, eighth line. Total how many lines are there? From here to here, 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. But if I convert this into the while loop, the number of lines will be reduced. I can make the same thing possible with less number of lines of code with the help of for loop. How means here instead of while, I'll put for. That's the first thing I have done. Second thing is This line is no need to be separate. Cut this and paste it here. Cut this and paste it there along with semicolon. Int I is equal to 1. And the condition is already there. Right? Now, take this I++ and put it here. And the semicolon, you just move it here. That's it. That's it. This is a for loop. Now, how many lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 8 lines. Now, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines. If you don't want to count the spaces, there are just 3 lines. There are just 3 lines. Okay? 2 lines got reduced. How many lines got reduced basically? 2 lines. There was a separate line for initializing the variable. There was a separate line for incrementing the variables. These 2 lines got reduced, and you see inside the condition itself, condition block itself, the initialization and declaration came, and incrementation or decrementation came. Able to understand, guys? Okay, able to understand? So this what is a for loop. In for loop, the initialization, condition, and incrementation or decrementation will be in the single line like this. Remaining everything is same. How the for loop will be executed? I'll tell you. So when you run the code, first the for loop will start running from this part, initialization. For the first time, the value of I will be declared with int data type and will be assigned initialized with the value 1. I will become 1 here. After this, the condition will be checked. After this initialization of the value I is variable I is done, okay, condition will be checked. 1 less than or equal to 10, true. If the condition is true, means we'll go inside the for loop. And go inside the for loop is. And value of I, that is 1 will be printed. 1 will be printed. At the end of the for loop, it will not exit the for loop, rather it will go and this increment or decrement, whatever this I++ you can use, I minus minus you can use, whatever the thing. Here I++ is there in this logic. So I++, the value of I will become how much? 2. After this incrementation will happen, it will jump onto this condition. 2 less than or equal to 10, true. Again condition is true, this time 2 will be printed. Then end of the for loop. Then I++, I will become 3, 3 less than or equal to 10, true. 3 will be printed. End of the loop, I++ 4, condition true, 4 will be printed. 5, condition is true, 5 will be printed. Like that it will keep on going till 10, 10 less than or equal to 10, true. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 will be printed. Then I11, 11 is neither less than or nor equal to 10, false. So we'll exit the for loop. So again 1 to 10 will be printed here. Clear with the for loop, guys? Everyone clear with the for loop? How the for loop will be executed? Is it clear? 1 to 10 end of this program. Okay? Make it more simple. This is how we can write the for loop. First time initialization will happen only one time. This will happen only one time. Okay? After that condition, go inside the block, incrementation or decrementation. Then condition, printing, code will be executed. Again condition, again incrementation, condition. This will keep on repeating. Okay? This will keep on repeating.
Hi, sir. For loop, in for loop, I equal to 1, first it will check. Later there is a condition, right? I less than or equal to 10. After that it will increase, right? So it will print 2 is the first number, right?
No, no,
It should print.
First initialization will happen. So I became 1, right? Here.
Correct.
After that condition is checked. 1 less than or equal to 10, true. It will go inside the for loop.
Oh, okay.
It will not do incrementation for the first time. Okay. First it will initialize, then condition, then go inside the for loop.
Okay.
After that, again at the end of this for loop, then it will do the incrementation.
Oh.
It
Thanks.
will start from here, then go inside, then here, like that. Okay.
Right.
So if you have to, yeah, hope you got it, but we'll start with this. From here, it will go here. Then to complete the loop. Then again, it will come here. Then here. Then here. Then again like this. Then here. Then here. Again like this. Okay. Only one time. Initially only one time this will get executed. Only one time. After that, this will keep on continuing. Okay. Cool. Fine. This is what is a for loop. Okay. This is what is for loop is. Nothing much. Very simplest form of loop is, what is the easiest loop? Whenever there is a possibility that you can use both while loop and while loop and for loop, you have to prefer which loop? For loop we have to prefer. Okay. We have to prefer which loop out of while loop and for loop? For loop is easiest one, simplest one. It will take less number of lines. And there is a possibility that you will not forget initialization. You see, in while loop, I told you, right, we may forget this I++ and infinite loop, it may go. But in for loop, it will not happen because we will be damn sure that we have to write this initialization, condition, and incrementation. Or decrementation. We'll remember to write. Otherwise, for loop will give the, for loop, we generally write it basically. Okay. Will not give any problems, but we can generally write it. There may be some situations where while loop only need to be used. Okay. There may be some situations where for loop is not suitable. While loop is required. That situations I'll explain later. Okay. There are different varieties. In this I is equal to 1, in this example, you will not understand that. In the coming days, there I'll show you one program where instead of for loop, you feel that while loop is a better one. Okay. You can use both for and while at the time also, but still you will prefer to use while loop. Okay. It looks better like this situation. While loop is better than for loop. You will feel like that. I'll explain in the coming days. Okay. Now that example you will not understand. Okay. So later I'll tell you. Okay. A situation where while loop will be preferred over for loop. Though both the loops are required, but you feel personally that for loop, while loop is better than for loop. Okay. That situation I'll tell you later. Okay. For now, for loop is the best one. Okay. Whenever you get a situation to use while loop or for loop, we have to generally prefer which loop. Everyone type in the chat box which loop we have to prefer over while loop and for loop. Yes, for loop. Okay. Only one kind of situation will come where you may have to use while loop over for loop. Okay. That I will explain later. Great. Now let's move on. What about for each loop? The next loop is what? For each loop. The next loop is what, guys? Everyone type in the chat box the next loop that I have to cover. Under the iterative statements, while is done, do while is done, for loop is done. Next loop is, I would explain for each loop. But the thing is, I'm not going to explain it now. Okay? For each loop, I'm not going to explain now. I'm going to explain this later. Why? Because in order to explain for each loop, we have to complete or during these two topics, arrays and collections, I can explain the for each loop. Since I have not explained you arrays, since I have not explained you collections, I cannot explain for each loop. This is not the right time. Okay. For each loop will be explained later, as it is generally used with what? Arrays and collections. So with which concepts I am going to explain the for each loop? Type in the chat box the concepts that I have to cover the for each loop with. Which concepts I have to explain? What are the two concepts? Arrays and collections. Everyone type in the chat box. Even though you don't know what are arrays and collections, still you type the answer. For each loop can be explained with arrays and collections. Arrays and collections. Everyone type arrays and collections. Okay. Great. arrays and collections. I have to explain the for each loop. So we are done with the iterative statements as of now. Okay, so we are done with the iterative statements as of now. Now we'll go with the. So I have to cover this diagram and all, then we'll go with the transfer statements. For loop is the most commonly used loop. For loop executes the same block of code multiple times until the Boolean condition becomes false. This is the diagram or something. Let's see the diagram of the for loop. Same thing, guys. Okay. For loop, if the condition is true, block of code will be executed. Again, the condition is true, block of code will be executed. Okay. If the condition is false, will come out of the for loop. That's we already know. Syntax, you're already clear with the syntax also. The same line, initialization, condition, and incrementation or decrementation will be there. For initialization, this is initialization section. Int I is equal to 1 section. Condition I less than or equal to 10 section. Increment or decrement I plus plus I minus anything you can use. Okay, and statements. Okay, based on the condition is true or false, the statements will be executed. That is what is for loop. Then for each loop, I told you I'll be covering with arrays and collections. The next category of flow control statements is what? The next category of the flow control statements is what? We are done with selection statements. If else, switch. We are done. Iterative statements, while, do while, for each loop will be explained later. The next category is what, guys? What is the next category we have now? Everyone type in the chat box. Transfer statements. Everyone type transfer statements in the chat box. Next category is transfer statements. Yes. Transfer statements is the next category. So transfer statements are used to transfer the flow of the execution of the code from one block of code to a different block of code, like jumping like a monkey here and there. Okay, from one block of code, you will be taken to another block of code with the help of transfer statements. Okay, so different type of transfer statements we have are break, continue, return, try, catch, finally. Okay, what are the different transfer statements we have? Break is one thing. Then we have continue, then we have return, then we have try, then we have catch, then we have finally. These are the different transfer statements we have. What are the different transfer statements? Break, continue, return, try, catch, finally. Everyone type in the chat box the different transfer statements we have. Break, continue, return, try, catch, finally. Everyone type. Break, continue, return, try, catch, finally. Yes, correct. Keep typing, guys. Everyone keep typing. You will remember otherwise. Okay, you will not remember otherwise. Break, continue, return, try, catch, finally. Right, correct, guys. Correct. Okay. Yes, correct. Now we'll start with the first one, that is the break. First transfer statement is what? Break. So the purpose of the break statement is to come out of the statements based on some condition. I'll tell you what is that. So I'll demonstrate the usage of the break. Okay. I'll use it with for loop for now. I'll use the for loop. For int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, I plus plus. This is the starting of the for loop, this is the ending of the for loop. Here, I'll print the value of I. I'll print the value of I. So what will be printed? 1 to 10 will be printed or not? With the help of this for loop, 1 to 10 will be printed or not? Guys, with this for loop, 1 to 10 will be printed or not? 1 to 10 will be printed. But here what I will do is, I'll write something like this. Inside the for loop, I'll write something like this. If I is, okay, equal to 5. If I is equal to 5, Then break. I'll use a statement known as break. Then what will happen? Just understand. I just modified the for loop logic a bit by adding this if condition and some break statement. So what will happen? I'll explain. Initially, the value of I is what? 1. 1 less than is equal to 10 is true. We'll go inside the for loop. So 1 is equal to 5, true or false? False. This condition is false. So this if block will not be executed. So the value of I, 1 will be printed here. 1 will be printed. That's correct. 1 will be printed, right? Then I plus plus will happen. I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 10 is 2. 2 is equal to 5 is again false. This block will not be executed. So here 2 will be printed without any problem. Then 3. True. 3 is equal to 5 is false. Skipped. 3 will be printed. Then 4. True. Again false. This block will be skipped. Here value of I 4 will be printed. Then 5. True. This also true this time. 5 is equal to 5 is true. 5 equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the if block. And what has occurred? What we have come across? Break statement. The break statement will break the loop. It will take you out of the loop. No matter what. Suddenly it will take you out of the loop and will come out of the loop. That's it. And here if I print it out, system.out.println, end of this program. So here till 1 to 4 they got printed. When the moment I became 5, this condition was true and break statement has taken you. So what will be the output, guys, for this program? What is the output? 1, 2, 3, 4 only will be printed. From 5 to 10, nothing will be printed. Only 1 to 4 will be printed. Run the program and see what's the output. 1 to 4 and end of the program will be printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, end of this program. Able to understand what is the use of the break statement now? Break statement will take you out of the loop. Wherever it occurs inside the loop, it will simply transfer you within the loop to the outside of the loop. That's it. Okay? Clear with the break statement? Clear with the break statement, guys? Everyone type C if you are clear with the break statement. This is what is the break statement. Break statement will take you out of the... Do you remember where exactly we have used the break statement earlier? Before this for loop came, there was some program I showed you earlier also where break statement I explained already. Not in this for loop. Yes, switch case. Vijay, right. Switch case. There was a break statement, right? That was taking us outside of the switch case. In switch case also break statement will do the same thing. It will take you out of the switch case. In for loop also same thing. It will take you out of the for loop. Simple. Okay. In switch case I already covered, guys, if you remember break statement. Okay. But this break statement can also be used in loops. So we can. Now the next one I have to explain is after break statement, what I have to cover next? Continue statement. The next one is what? Continue statement. So here the same logic I'm copy pasting the same logic, but this time instead of the break statement, I'll put which statement? Continue statement. Then what's the difference? What will happen in this case? Let me explain. In case of continue statement, unlike break statement will entirely cut off this for loop and take you out of the for loop. But continue is not like that. Continue will only cancel the current iteration only. Only current iteration will be cancelled. Remaining all iterations will still continue. As the name speaks, continue means only pass the current iteration. Next iteration you can continue. Okay, I'll tell you. Here initially I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10. True. We'll go inside that. This condition is false. Continue statement won't be executed. So here 1 will be printed. Then 2, true, false, won't be executed. 2 will be printed. 3, true, false, skipped. 3 will be printed. 4, true, false, 4 will be printed. 5, true. This one is also true for the first time. Continue statement will be executed. I told you when the continue statement will be executed, wherever the situations you are, the current iteration The fifth time the loop is running, right? That fifth time loop will be cancelled. And the control will be directly taken from continue statement to which statement? From here to where you will jump? I plus plus. It will not take you out of the for loop. Rather, it will cancel the current iteration where it occurs and it will simply go to I plus plus. So did 5 got printed here? Because of this situation, did the 5 got printed? No, directly I became 6. Without 5 getting printed, I became 6. Condition is true, false. 6, after 4, 6 will be printed. Fifth iteration got cancelled. The moment continue came, it cancelled and went to the next iteration. Then 7 will be printed. 8, true, false, 8 will be printed. 9, true, false, 9 will be printed. 10, true, false, 10 will be printed. 11, this is also false, will come out of the for loop. Except 5, everything got printed. This is what is continue. Only the iteration where the continue statements get executed, that iteration will get cancelled. Remaining all iterations will continue still. That's the name continue. Name continue is given. You see, except 5, everything got printed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is not there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. End of this program. Clear with the continue statement? The difference between break and continue is clear. All this you have to practice today, guys. Programs. Okay. Whatever the programs I'm teaching you today, you guys have to practice. Okay. Okay. That is what is the break statement. The purpose of the break statement is to come out of the statements based on some condition. Demonstrate the usage of the break statement. I already demonstrated this. This code is also there in the notes if you can take it. Continue. The purpose of the continue statement is to cancel the current iteration or the skip the current iteration of the loop based on some condition and continue with the next iteration. Okay. I already demonstrated this. Now the next one is return. After break and continue, the next things are return, try, catch, finally. But this is not the right time for me to explain return because I have to explain return with methods. When I have to cover return, using which concept I have to explain the return keyword, return transfer statement with that when I cover methods. When I cover methods, I have to explain return. Okay, I cannot explain now. Like the previous one, that is for each loop will be explained with arrays and collections. Similarly, return will be explained with methods, upcoming concepts. Then what is the next one? Try, catch, finally. This 3 I cannot explain again now itself. I cannot explain. Why? Because I have to explain this with which concept? I have to explain try, catch, finally with which concept? Exception handling. Exception handling. Upcoming topic is exception handling, where I have to cover try, catch, finally. Okay. So we are done with the flow control statements now. We are done with the flow control statements, guys. We are done with the flow control statements. And we'll now go with the next one. That is this one. What is the next one? This is the next one, guys. Methods, variables, classes, objects, constructor, this keyword, overloading, inheritance, overriding, and many things are coming. We are going to the next level of programming now in Java. Okay. Once you understand that basic stuff like, data types, variables, operators, literals, and after that, flow control statements like selection statements, iterative statements, and transfer statements, whatever I covered so far. The next one will be methods, variables, classes for now. Okay, I have to cover methods, variables, and classes for now. Okay, first we'll go with something known as methods. Okay, I'm going to cover first thing. These notes I'll share with you. The first one will be what? Type in the chat box what I'm going to cover now. What is the topic that I have to cover now? Okay, I'm going to cover. This is today's notes. Actually, I'll do it in a better way. Today's notes.
Sir, if possible, in the notifications, like above one webinar on software testing and career planning, if you mention the date and time, it will be helpful. If we open it suddenly, we don't know that when it will be.
Okay, mostly it will be on weekends. Okay, so I'll inform them.
Yeah,
Okay?
but time also, if we mention in the same notification, it will be very easy for us.
Sure. No problem. No
Okay,
problem. If you have missed it, the recordings are there. Okay.
okay,
Oh, but for now, I can share you the recordings of all the webinars I have taken from the last
okay,
weeks. Maybe next time I'll ask that person to mention the time and date and time also.
okay.
The webinars are webinars. So a lot of knowledge sharing is happening on these webinars. So I want everyone to attend. Okay. So best way to learn Selenium Java, how to overcome the fear of programming and software testing, career planning. Okay. So these 3 webinars have been done and I'll paste them. So far webinars. Okay. For now, you just go through the recording, but I'll ask the person to provide the date and time. Okay.
Okay.
Going ahead. Fine. Great. So coming to the methods, topic is methods. Okay. Just understand here what I'm trying to teach. Very simple one, guys. Methods is very simple one. In Java programming, the programming logic need to be written inside what? Methods. Okay. Into the variables, we store data, right? Remember everyone, int I is equal to 1, int a is equal to 5. What we are doing? Into the variables, we are storing what? Data. Are we writing the code inside the variables? Provide the answers, guys. Are we writing any code into the variables or we are only storing the data? We are only storing the data into the variables. But can we write code in the variables? Can we assign some code to the variables? No, that's not correct. Where we have to write the code then? The programming code where we have to write. Programming code where we have to write. I'm going to give an example for you. We have to write the code inside the methods. We have to write the code inside what? Methods. And store the data in variables. And both these variables and methods will be inside what? Both these variables and methods will be inside what? Class. Class will enclose everything. Inside the class, there will be variables, methods, and other stuff also. But here only variables, methods I mentioned for now. Inside the class, variables, methods, and other stuff will be there. But ultimately, in the variables, will store the data. In the methods, we'll write the logic. Till now, what is the method I have explained? What is the method we have used so far in our programming? Till now, main method, right? If you see and go and see the logic here, let's close this. Till now, what is the method we have used? Main method. So I'll just create something like methods here, package known as methods package. I'm going to create and that main method inside which is inside what? That main method whenever you are creating is inside what? Is inside main method is inside what? Class, right? Correct. I just name the class name as methods demo. Methods demo is the class name, and inside that, so class got created. This is the code for class. Inside this class, what I'm going to do? Inside this class, I want to create, I can create variables and methods. I'll just for now create method, control space main, control space, you'll get the main method. Inside this class, there is a method. Inside this method only, I'm writing the logic, right? Till now, where I have written the logic is, just see, without your notice, I have written all this logic where I have written. All this logic where I have written inside the method only, right? You see this for loop logic, all this logic I have written inside the methods. Right, already without our notice we have done that, without our all this explanation, you are able to go through that, right? So classes will contain variables, methods, And inside the variables, we'll store data. Inside the methods, we'll write the logic. Main method is a method where the program execution starts and we can write the programming logic inside the main method. Okay. Main method is a method where the program execution starts and we can write programming logic inside the main method. Okay. Now, till now that is good. But let's see the next one. Demonstrate creating multiple methods along with the below. Okay. Create multiple methods along with the main method. Here, main method is the only method. Main method is the only method. Now, along with the main method, I want to create few more methods. Can I create? Inside this class, how many methods are there? Guys, inside this class, how many methods are there now? Only one. That is nothing but main method. Apart from the main method, can I create any other method? Yes, I can create. The same way, public static void main is there now. Here also, to create another method, here I'll simply write down system.out.println, system.out.println inside main method, I'll say. Okay. this statement when printed will prove that main method got executed. Okay. If you have to create another method, public static void, I'll give a different name for the method. Main method can be only one, but other methods can be any. So I'll simply say method one. Method one. I'm just giving the name as method one. And you just see the naming convention, guys. What is the naming convention I'm using? Upper camel case or lower camel case? This is lower camel case. Okay, right. And this is starting of the method. This is ending of the method. Okay. And here in the circular brackets, I'm not putting anything. In main method, we are putting string of ops, right? But here in the method one, I'm not putting anything. It's empty. Okay. Let it be. Now here system.out.println inside method one method. Method one method. Can I create any other method? Till now I created two methods. One is main method, other one is non-main method, general method. Can I create another method here? Inside the same class, can I create one more method? Yes, I can create. Public static, same way. You see, public static void, same, right? The main method also public static void. There, same three keywords I'm using. Here I'll say method, different name I'll give, method 2. Now, system.out.println inside method 2 method. Can I create any other methods? Yes, I can create any number of methods. Public static void, method 3, method 3, system.out.println inside method 3 method, public static void method 4. I can keep on creating any number of methods, guys. System.out.println inside. Just for sample, I'm writing one statement, guys. Okay, just for sample, I'm writing one statement inside every method. Understand that this is a code. This is a code programming logic. Just assume that this is a programming logic. Okay, method 4 inside method 4 method. Okay, done. Now, if I run this code, what will be printed? Is the question. What will be printed if I run this code? If I run this code, entire code, what will be printed? Everyone try to answer. What will be printed if I run this code? Inside main method, statement in the first method, only main method, inside main method, inside main. Everyone is saying inside main method. Inside main method till method 4, AB is saying, okay. All print statements in all the methods. Okay, Shivakumar is saying all. Manjit is saying all the statements in all the methods. Okay, let me clear. Here what happens, just see, observe. When I run this code, the execution will start from, generally execution will start from which method? The program execution in Java will start from which method? Main method. Execution will start from the main method, that we already know. So it will start from here. It will first print inside main method. And after this code inside this main method is completed. This is the end of this program, end of this main method. And after this, nothing will happen, guys. This methods will not be executed because there is no connection between the main method and these methods. Able to understand? There is no connection between the main method and these methods. So only the statement inside the main method will be printed. Inside main method will be printed. Can you see that? Inside main method only got printed. Remaining methods got executed or not? No, we cannot write that. Method inside method we cannot write. That nesting is not possible. Nagveni, your question is, can we write an another method inside another method? That is not possible in Java. Okay. Nesting is not possible in case of methods. So the remaining methods are not getting executed, guys. Okay. Remaining methods will not be executed because there is no connection between this main method and other methods. Execution will start from the main method automatically in Java, and whatever the code that is there in the main method got executed after the task is done. There is no connection between the main method and these methods. Okay. So nothing will be executed. Now, how can I make that all these methods statements inside this main method other than this main method also get executed along with the main method? For that, I have to make the main method call these methods. What I have to do? There is a concept known as method calling. Everyone type in the chat box. Method calling. I want everyone to type method calling. The main method has to call the methods if it wants to run any methods. Whenever it is required, we are going to run the code of that particular methods. Okay. Method calling. How can we call a method? Let's say inside main method is there. After that, or main method started. Here one more print statement I'll write system.out.println. Main method ended. In between that, main method started, main method ended. In between that, I'll write something like I have to call this method. Let's say I want to call method one. I want the code inside the method one to be executed. So what I will do, I just need to give the name of the method, circular brackets, copy this part, put it here, and put a semicolon. That's it. This is what, guys? This is a method calling statement. What is this? This is method calling statement. So here main method is calling the method one. Main method is calling the what? Method one. Okay. Main method is calling method one. Now if I run the code, what will be happening? What will happen? Main method started will be printed. Execution will start from here. Main method started will be printed. After that, method one will be called. From here, the control will come to method one, and the code inside the method one will be executed. Inside method one, method will be printed. And at the end of this method one, again the control will come back here, and then main method ended will be printed. So three statements will be printed. Main method started, inside method one method, main method ended. Clear, guys? Is it clear what how to call the methods? Is it clear? Now I want to call other methods also. Method two. Method two is another method calling statement which will call this method two. Then I want to call method three. Then I want to put a semicolon, guys. Every time after method calling statement, you have to put a semicolon. Then method four. Now in this case, what will happen? First, main method started will be printed. After that, method one will be called. Control will come here. Inside main method one will be printed. Again, control will come back here. Now method two will be called. Control will come to method two. Inside method two, method will be printed. After that, control will come back to here. Method three will be called. Control will come back here. Inside method three, method will be printed. At the end of this method three, control will come back here. Method four will be called. Control will come to method four. Inside method four, method will be printed, and after that control will come back here. Main method ended will be printed. First main method started. After all the code in all the four methods got executed, then main method ended will be printed. Run the code. Main method started inside method one, inside method two, inside method three, inside method four. main method ended. Clear? Everyone clear? Type C in the chat box if you guys are clear so far. Now till now, we were making the main method call other methods, right? As you can see in this program, only the main method was the method which was calling other methods in the program. Like from main method only, we called method 1, method 2, method 3. These are all non-main methods. These are not main methods. Only one method is a main method. Main method is calling all the non-main methods. Is it compulsory that only main method has to call the non-main methods, or even non-main methods also can call other methods also? You see, non-main methods can also call other methods. It's not compulsory that main method has to call the non-main methods. Non-main methods can also call other methods. Okay, so I'll show you that. For today, I'll complete till here, guys. Okay, I'll complete till here. I'll stop. After that, I'll take your doubts, and tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining portions. Okay. For today, I'll take you till here. I'll complete till here. 2 more statements are there. After that, I'll stop. Okay, I'll stop afterwards. Fine. Here, main method was calling non-main methods. So now what I'm going to do is, here main method, let's say it will call method 1. Now I'll remove this one. Now here I'll say started. Just to see, okay. Here I'll say ended. Everything also I'll change the same thing. Here started. Then I'll say ended. For every method, I'm writing these 2 statements. Here started. And this one ended. This one started. This particular method started here. This particular method ended here. Now what I'm going to do is, here main method is calling method 1. And now method 1, let's say it is calling method 2. Method 1 is calling method 2. Now method 2 is calling method 3, let's say. Like a chain, right? Now method 3 is calling method 4. Now method 4 is not calling anyone. Okay, method 4 is not calling anyone. Now what will happen, guys? What will be the output? Execution will start from the main method. First, main method started will be printed, and then method 1 will be called. Control will come from here to here. Right? Control will come from method calling statement to the method. Inside method 1, method started will be printed now. After main method started printed, control came to the method 1, and inside main method, inside method 1's method started will be printed. After that, method 2 is being called. The control will jump from here to here. Here, inside method 2, method started will be printed. After that, method 3 is getting called. Control will come from here to method 3. Then inside method 3, method started will be printed. This will get the control to the method 4. Then inside method 4, method will be started will be printed. Inside method 4, method ended also will be printed. After the method 4, the control will go back to here, guys. Whatever the calling statement was there, till there it will go. And inside method 3, method ended will be printed. After this, control will go to the method which called this particular method 3 here. Inside method 2, method will be ended. Then control will come to the method calling statement, method 2. Then inside method 1, method ended. Then control will come back to the here. That is main method ended will be printed. Hope you are able to understand, guys. Guys, able to understand? Main method started, method 1 started, method 2 started, method 3 started, method 4 started, method 4 ended, method 3 ended, method 2 ended, method 1 ended, and main method ended. Is it clear? Guys, is it clear? Type C in the chat box if it is clear for you. Other methods can also call other methods, guys. Okay, this is how the things will happen. And finally, a method calling other methods multiple times. A method can call other method multiple times. For example, I'll make this method 3 call method 4 multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times method 3 is calling method 4? How many times method 3 is calling method 4? 4 times now. In this example, 4 times. So what will happen in this case? Execution again I will explain. From main method it will start. Main method started will be printed. Method 1 will be called. Control will come back here. Inside method 1 method started will be printed. It will call the method 2. Method 2 control will go. Inside method 2 method started will be printed. Method 3 will be called. Control will go to method 3. Inside method 3 method will be started will be printed. Now method 4. Method 4 control will go here. And inside method 4 method started. Inside method 4 method ended. After that control will come back here. Method 4 will be called again. Control will come back here. Inside method 4 method started. Method 4 method ended. Again control will come back here. Method 4 will be again called. Again inside method 4 method started. Inside method 4 method ended. Again control will come back here. Method 4 will be called for the fourth time. Control will come back here. Inside method 4 method started. Inside method 4 method ended. Control will come back here. Inside method 3 method ended. And who called the method 3? Here. Inside method 2 method ended. Who called the method 2? Here. Inside method 1 method ended. Who called the method 1? Here. Main method ended. So method 4 got executed how many times? 4 times. You see, method 4 started ended, started ended, started ended. 4 times it got. Okay. The same method got executed 4 times. Method 4 got executed 4 times. Clear? Clear everyone? That's the same method can be called multiple times. Is it clear? So we completed for today, guys. Okay. Today, whatever I wanted to cover, I covered. Tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining topics. So any doubts are there? This is the right time for you guys to ask. Guys, if you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Anyone have any doubts? The flow control statements or these methods? Yes.
I don't want out.
Yeah,
Like
please.
we have while loop, we have for loop, right? So how can we identify which one we can use in real scenario?
I told you already that most of the cases when the while loop and for loop are there, we generally go with the for loop. Okay, for loop is a better one.
For loop.
For loop is the
Yeah,
best
okay.
one. Okay, to choose. But there may be some situation where while also will be preferred over for loop. Okay, that situation I'll cover later. This is not the right time.
Okay, okay.
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 Most of the cases
Thank
you
you.
try to use for loop only. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Clear?
you.
Okay. Whenever you guys get a chance to use some loop, use for loop only, guys. Okay. But in the coming days, I'll show you one program where writing while will be better than for loop. Okay. In one situation. Apart from that, everywhere use for loop only. Okay. Any other questions? TN, you're asking me one question, say asking that in the chat box, you are asking me example of any situation where multiple methods will be used in real scenario. Yes, when we go for the frameworks, you will be seeing that. Okay. You see, there may be some method for doing addition. There may be method for doing subtraction. There may be method for doing multiplication. There may be method for doing, division. Like there multiple methods we can use or not. We can use multiple methods or not. Okay, like that. Okay, so that is a real-time situation where you will be using different methods. So one method for doing addition of the two numbers, you will pass two values. I'll come that later. Okay, how to pass and all. This is just beginning, so I'm not covering that. In the coming sessions, I'll do that. Another method for doing subtraction, another method for doing multiplication, another method for multiplication, like that we can use. And now, Balu, you're asking me one question, which loop is most used in real time? The question I answered right, for loop. Okay. For loop we use most. Yes. Can we use main method twice? No, we cannot use main method twice. Okay, only one time main method should be used, and also main method will be used only one time, and program execution will start from the main method only. Okay, only one time we have to use the main method. One clear? Only one time we have to use the main method. We should not be writing main method 2 times. Only one time. You see what's happening when I try to use a main method second time? Error is coming. Duplicate method it is saying anyhow. Okay. It will not allow you. Okay. Main method cannot be written 2 times. Any other questions? Guys, any other questions?
Sorry, one more question.
This main, yeah.
Yeah, please continue.
Sorry, I was gonna ask that can we rename main method, or it has to be main all the time?
You should not rename. If you rename, what will happen is, if for example, if I rename main method to main one, then you cannot run the program. Right click, run as, you'll not get the option to run the program.
Oh, okay.
The name of the main method should be main only, and with this parameter and all. Okay, everything should be there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, Arun, one more thing, main method always start with the public static void.
Yes. Yeah, continue your question.
Yeah, that means it will start only with the public static void. Or can we change the public and all those things?
Okay, the public related, static related, void related, I'll cover later. You'll understand later. It's better main
Okay.
method should start with public static void only. Okay, so there are few reasons why main
Oh.
method has to start with public static. It has to be static. It has to be public. It has to be void. Okay, why I'll cover later. Okay, when the time comes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. But for other methods, public static, okay, are not compulsory. I'll tell you that later. Okay, when time comes. Okay, any other questions, guys? I'll provide this code. Meanwhile, you can ask me the questions. I gave the code. Assignments I have not given, but only one assignment I will say. Assignment for today. Print numbers 10 to 1 in reverse way, 10 to 1 using while loop, do while loop, and for loop. This is one assignment I want to give. You have to numbers.
I don't know doubt like how can I take that code? Just click on that link and GitHub.
Maybe it's not opening directly for you. New incognito window. Center. Do you need any access? No, I guess so. Directly you can. There is an option to copy also. Copy a raw file. You can download also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, easily take. It's visible also. You don't even have to copy, right? It's visible by looking at it also. You can go through. Okay. Entire project, if you want, also you can do that. Code. Just download zip, extract that. You will get all the files. Okay. Near machine. Is that fine? Okay. So any more questions, guys, for today? If you don't have any questions, you can leave. We'll continue tomorrow. Assignment I gave in the Telegram group. That assignment you try to do, guys. Okay. Print numbers 10 to 1 using while loop, do while loop, and for loop. Okay. Reverse way you have to print. Instead of 1 to 10, you have to print 10 to 1. That's the assignment. Okay. Fine then. That's all for today. We'll meet tomorrow and continue with the remaining things. Methods is also not completed yet. This part and other parts I'll complete tomorrow. Fine, guys. Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Bye.